I'm so passionate about this topic. I'm very excited that you're here with me because this is going to be so much fun. Today, we are digging into something that some of you might know. This is kind of my jam. We are going to be talking about building community in your studio and doing so in a way that really allows us to get beyond the recital, right? Beyond the standard recital that allows us to connect with people. We are thinking outside of the box today. My favorite place to play. And today we're going to dig into this question that was submitted by one of our savvy listeners. Shout out to Philip Kramer for giving us this idea. He asked a really great question about how we can create a stronger sense of community in our studios, especially if we have online studios. So today what we're going to do is we're going to look at 5 creative ways that we can increase community in our studios. Whether you are an online studio or you're an in-person studio, these ideas will work for both because having a tight-knit community in your studio is a really beautiful thing. It creates this like learning environment that fosters happiness and motivation. And in turn, that is going to create greater retention and awesome word of mouth referrals. So if you are excited about this topic, let me know down below that you're watching live and let me know where you're tuning in from. And let's get this party started. But before we do that, we're going to play a little music so I can make sure that all the behind the scenes things are running smoothly. Here we go. And we're back. Welcome, everyone. I'm really excited about this. Whoop, we're going to move that little guy over. So this is something that for those of you who may have been around for a while, you may remember that I used to blog at sarasmusicstudio.com way back in like 2012, right? And I blogged there for years and years and years. And one of the focus areas in that blog was really about, creating awesome experiences that create like a tighter sense of community in your studio so that you do have really high retention rates. And it's so interesting to me. I just had a conversation with a parent from my studio last night about, her son has been in my studio for 5 years now. He's in 7th grade. We're like skating through that middle school area where sometimes we see this like drop off, that students aren't that interested anymore. And she shared a little story with me. She said, "Yeah, I was talking with a husband and wife who she knows who happen to be piano teachers as well, and they said something about." We have this problem where students like won't stick around past 2 years. So if that is something that you've experienced in your studio, I really, really, really think that these ideas are going to help you. So let's do a quick housekeeping here before we get to the 5 tactics to build stronger community. Hey, if you're new here, hello, I'm so glad that you're here. My name is Sara Campbell. I'm a business strategist, mindset, and marketing coach for music studio owners just like you. And I go live here every Wednesday where we talk about those topics. And so if you are new, please introduce yourself below. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I'll be glad to circle around and have a little conversation with you. And I do have something set up for those of you who want to get the notes from today's topic. So if you put the word, we're going to bring this up on the screen here. If you drop the word community down below, this word will work if you are watching on Facebook or if you are watching, you know what? Ooh, we gotta change that. We're going to delete that. Sorry, behind the scenes thing. If you're watching on Facebook, if you drop that word community down below, the Savvy Sarah bot will reach out to you. Also, those of you who are watching on Instagram, if you would like to get a hold of the notes, just drop that word down below. And if you are watching on YouTube, because we are multi-streaming in all the places right now, look inside of our live chat. You will find a link where you can get a hold of the show notes, or you can also look in the description of this video. Cool. All right. We love to learn out loud here. So if you hear something that is valuable to you and you are going to try it out in your studio, or if you're like, oh my gosh, aha, the light bulb just went off, give us a hashtag takeaway and let us know what that light bulb moment is. If you're watching live, I'll be able to bring it up on the screen. If you're watching it on the replay, give us your takeaways anyway, because I'm always watching the notifications and I would love to come back, have a convo with you. If there are any questions throughout the broadcast, please feel free to drop them below. And if I don't have time to answer them live, I will come back and answer them later. So, all right, all of that good stuff. Let's get to it today. So, I do want to reiterate where this topic came from for those of you who are just tuning in. So this question, okay, was submitted by one of our amazing Savvy listeners. His name is Philip Kramer. You can check him out on Instagram. He is called Fiddlin' Phil over there, and he is a genius. He's combining, his love of music and performance with a lot of humor. And he also he has an online studio. So he submitted this question, and here's exactly what he wrote. He said, what are your thoughts on building a sense of community for your studio, especially for online studios? People want to know other people who share their interests. Absolutely. But it can be hard to find fun systems of togetherness when everyone lives so far away. And, I think that question, yes, certainly it's focused in on the idea of an online studio, and it is tricky to create a sense of community in that online space. I think it also translates over to many of us who have in-person studios, because I don't know about you guys, but so my studio, I serve a pretty large area, and I'm in a rural area. So there's many, many schools. They're itty bitty little schools, and they're all spread out. And so, in some areas where maybe you're only drawing from like one school system, maybe two school systems, it's easier to create a sense of community because the students know each other in school. But in my rural area, raise your hand if you're in a rural area, it's rather challenging because I remember back when my studio was my main source of income and my main focus, I actually had at the height 9 different school systems in my studio. So if that's the case, it can feel kind of difficult to create this sense of community. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus in on some different ways to do so. And I'm going to bring up all those 5 points in just a second. Let's take a moment to say hello to everyone. I would love to know from those who are watching, what are some of the ways that you increase a sense of community, or is that one of the concerns in your studio? Are you experiencing a drop-off rate after 1 to 2 years? Is that something that you would like to, would you like to increase your retention? Let me know those things down below. I see Craig. Craig, I've been following your 75-day thing, and it's amazing. He said that he's super excited for this topic. Leishan is tuning in from Tacoma, Washington. We have Susan from Toledo, Ohio. Susan, watch your weather today. It's going to be crazy. Pete's tuning in from Detroit. You too, Pete. There's massive storms coming tonight. It's on my mind because those of you who follow me on Facebook know that we've lost 30 trees in the past 2 weeks. We got a lot of sticks to pick up. Karen's tuning in. Lessons by Victoria is tuning in over on YouTube. And I see lots of people drop in the word community down below. Hi, Louise. Louise Bell is tuning in. She's cooking tea again. She's in Sunderland, and Northeast England. I love it. So good. Tea time with Sara. All right. For those of you watching on Instagram, be sure to say hello. I can't bring your stuff up on the screen, but I'll say hi. All right, let's do this. So I want to talk a little bit about, ways that we typically thought of increasing community. For a standard studio, and I am not knocking this, by the way, because I've done this, right? So no shade thrown today. For a standard studio, the idea of creating community was basically, okay, I'm going to throw like a couple recitals a year, right? And I don't know about you, but like I think back to when I was a kid taking lessons. Um, those recitals did not help me feel like I was part of a community because you're only doing it a couple times a year. And, sitting in a church pew, like waiting eagerly, maybe anxiously for it to be your turn to go to the piano or to go to the microphone. It doesn't do much to foster relationships. It doesn't give us an opportunity to really talk to people, right? And hey there, I see someone on Instagram who just dropped the word. I'm writing down your name because sometimes the bot doesn't work. So Muriah, I love that. We'll reach out to you and make sure that you get a hold of this stuff. Okay. So back to this idea of the old recitals. Hey there, Amy J. Littles on Instagram. So those recitals, it's not a community maker, right? It's an opportunity. It's a performance opportunity, and that's great. Now, there are ways that we can create like a better sense of community inside of the traditional recital model, but you got to get creative. You got to do some things. And so what we're going to be looking at is beyond the recital. I'm feeling a little drama today. Here are 5 things. Let's do it. All right. Dun, dun, dun. Number 1. Okay, so here is the first thing that we're going to talk about. We want to throw awesome non-recital events. So I'm going to list a bunch of ideas for you, right? Basically, what we want to do is we want to create some type of a social gathering situation where people can come together and they can, learn from each other. It's going to give us an opportunity to foster some friendships and, create like this little support system inside of those things. So here are some ideas that you can use whether you're in person or online. So in our studio, we had group lessons. I know, super scary. We had group lessons at least twice a semester. And during that week, no private lessons happened at all. And I would assign groups to people. Believe it or not, everybody made it work. And if they didn't, they just missed out on that week. Everybody was excited to come to these. Inside of those group experiences, we did a couple of things. We would come together, we would do like a mini performance. We would work on games. We would learn some improvisation. So we had like all of these elements of ensemble, gamification, having fun together. And in these circumstances, I used to step back and let them be in charge. So we had a snack time for each event, and they were in charge of making it. So these opportunities where they had to talk to one another, and be awkward teens together and awkward, all that kind of fun stuff. But by doing that, it gave them the opportunity to get to know one another. So then when we did have recitals and things like that, they were like, oh, hey, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. So that's one idea. So, doing some really creative type of group lesson. Some other ideas for you would be to run workshops. Workshops that are very interactive. These could be things that either replace private lessons for a period of time, or they could be in addition to, and that could be an extra source of income. There's just so many opportunities. And I see that there are some people who are giving us some really cool ideas. Okay, so like, ooh, yes, Leishan, talk about swag. I love it. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna mention that when we get to that little section here. Yeah, so I see like Spotify lists, that type of stuff. Okay, Craig is saying like, I want to have movie night in my backyard. Bingo, that's a perfect opportunity. Find a movie that features some music that you find interesting. That would be really great. That's so beautiful. So we have group lessons, we have workshops, we have, hey, let's get together and have a movie night or things like that. One of the things that sticks out most in my mind from my experience taking piano lessons growing up, my piano teacher was also a a lifeguard, like she was the head lifeguard at the local pool. And she happened to have a pool in her backyard. And so she would have a pool party every summer and she would lifeguard. I think she brought somebody else there as well. But I remember that because it was this opportunity to get to know the other kids there. So if you were in the online space, let's talk about some options here. So you can use, and there's so many different video conferencing tools out there, right, to facilitate interactions. So, having an online space where you can get together, allow students to learn from one another, like share their progress, talk about what they've been working on, talk about the, their wins of the week, things like that, maybe the things that they're struggling with. It's going to create a sense of unity, even if they're miles apart. So if, speaking to Phil directly, Phil, it's time to get those group opportunities going and, have those fun, not masterclass, it would be like a hangout. Hey, we're going to have a virtual hangout this week. Bring your beverage, bring your fiddle, and we're going to have some fun. We're going to have some games too, because you want to have games. All right. Second here. Okay. So for those who are watching, if you're interested in doing some type of a non-recital event, let us know what that might be. If you have some details, that would be amazing. Okay. Next thing here. Oh, wait. I actually wanted to bring up one of the comments. I love this. I think it's super cute. Leishan has this great idea. She said, I printed up some really nice water bottle stickers and the school kids hunt for them all over the city trying to find other rare birds. What a fun thing. Karen says, do you charge money for the events? Absolutely. Don't throw events willy-nilly and, you're going to have costs with them. They either need to be built into your tuition if you have a tuition model. So if you're thinking about these ideas, price them out and think about how much is this going to cost me? And then, calculate that into your tuition. If you're not ready to go to a tuition model, yes, have a charge for that. I think about, some of the things that, like, okay, my country club throws, right? So yes, you're paying a membership fee for the country club, but there are, just access to go there. But when they do special events, there is an additional fee for that because there's an additional cost to create that experience. I love what Pete says here. He says, our group sessions are disguised as an open mic. Beautiful. Oh, Katie Palumbo, it's so nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. She says going to a concert together or for a hike together or a backyard campfire, right? These are great opportunities, especially, I should mention, especially if you have a studio of adults. Hey there, Jana is over on Instagram. If you have a studio with adults, it's so lovely to have an opportunity to connect with people who are passionate about the same things that you are passionate about. And I know a lot of amazing teachers who have put together, opportunities for socialization with their adult students. So don't think that this is just about kids, right? Okay, moving on to the second creative item. The second one, start a rockin' studio buddy system. Okay, this is kind of fun. And this is going to tie in with number 4 as well. So we'll kind of get started on it here, and then we'll go a little bit further. So what you can do is you can match up students who have similar interests or skills, and give them opportunities to jam together, to collaborate, cheer each other on, because who doesn't love a little musical teamwork? And I'm thinking about, what are some creative ways to make that happen? So if you have littles, would love to know, for those who are watching, do you teach a bunch of littles, the ones who don't have cell phones yet, hopefully? With littles, how fun would it be to have a piano pen pal? And it would be very simple for you to provide postcards. I don't remember what postcard stamps are anymore. What are they, 29 cents? Let me know if you know the answer to that. Create some postcards and allow them to mail them to one another. right? So you've got a studio buddy system. With the teens, when you have those group workshops and things like that, give them the opportunity to team up with somebody. And maybe in that process, it's about, encouraging them to get to know one another and to find somebody who has similar interests and have them interview one another, have them, get to know one another in that space when they are together, and then encourage them to, have some type of a way to, cheer each other on when they're practicing. Now, you do want to be mindful about how you're connecting people. You don't want them to like exchange phone numbers unless they've had permission, parents, all that stuff. So think that through. But having somebody that they can, connect with, I think is really, really powerful. All right, let me see here. Oh, in the online space, to speak to this, if you are doing some online events where you get to all get together in a Zoom room or whatever type of video conferencing you're using, this is an opportunity to put people into breakout rooms. Right. So to kind of have them buddy up, have like an accountability partner that they can message throughout the week to keep them motivated, things like that. Think about it like a gym partner, right? Oh, Cassandra, I know it's like the stamps are really expensive, but postcards are cheaper. I know this because my mother-in-law used to send postcards to people, to all her students, like every Christmas and for their birthday. It was super cute. 63 cents if you buy in the store. Interesting. I'm going to have to look it up. All right. So Rockin' Studio Buddy System. Let's continue on to the third item here. This is one of my favorites because I wrote about this a lot on my blog. Okay. Create a community wall. So with this community wall, if you have a place in your studio that you can deck out, we can do all kinds of things here. Like think bulletin board, right? You can celebrate student wins. So if there's something that happens, perhaps it's in the studio, perhaps it's outside of the studio, right? So for instance, like one of my students was just named a National Merit Scholar, something like, I think that's what it's called. Like that's a big deal, right? To put that up on the bulletin board. Or if somebody gets the lead in their high school musical, like put that information up on the bulletin board. All that kind of cool stuff, right? So give an opportunity to celebrate wins, maybe to display cool artwork. When I had littles in my studio, I don't know what it was. I had all these littles who were really creative and like very good little artists. And these, I remember one, she used to come in almost every single week and she would give me some piece of art that she had created that had music in it. And it was really awesome. So, show off that artwork. Invite everyone to join in and like celebrate, right? Celebrate together. So I'm trying to think of, this could also be a place where you can share news, where you can highlight upcoming events, things like that. And you really want to encourage people to contribute in creating that content. So, inviting students, inviting parents to engage with it. And it's just going to give them like this stronger sense of community. I'm thinking for the online space. Oh my goodness, Phil, what is the name of that really cool thing that you used? Phil, I hope you watch this because I'm saying your name like a million times. There was this really neat program that he was using that was kind of, I don't know how to explain what it is, but it's an online space where you can just create anything you want there. It like putting Post-it notes in it, embedding videos and things like that. So I think that having that as like a group platform for people to contribute to could be really, really awesome. I'm going to share a couple other ideas for these community walls. So we have the idea of like a shout out wall, but also I love this idea. I used to do, I don't want to use the word challenges because that's not kind of what, it wasn't a competition. We used to do these things, for lack of a better word, where we were focused on creating something beautiful together. And so the year that I did this is it's not going to make sense unless you understand Rhythm Cups by Wendy Stevens. If there's anyone here who's done what Rhythm Cups, let me know. So what I did is I printed out a bunch of paper versions of solo cups. It'll make sense if you understand rhythm cups. And I put them all over the wall. And we did rhythm cups as our activity, both vocalists and pianists, because everybody needs to become better at rhythms. And each time they mastered one of the rhythm lines, or if they did well enough to go like, hey, I think we got this, they were allowed to pick out a sticker, a flower sticker, and they were to take that flower sticker and to put it inside one of those cups on the wall. So we were building bouquets together, right? So it's this idea of, hey, let's get together and make something beautiful. Let's make something cool. Let's make something wonderful. You can do something like that as well. Side note, I should have planned better and not let people actually put stickers on the door. They're still there and I can't get them off. Okay, so don't be like me. All right, moving on. We have two more. If this is resonating with you, or if you're enjoying these ideas, take a moment, give me a little thumbs up, maybe a little heart, hit those buttons here. And if you are, if you're finding this valuable and you would like to, show your appreciation, one of the best things that you can do is to let someone else know that this is a resource for them. So if you have a teacher friend who you think would benefit and enjoy my little weirdness every Wednesday, please let them know about this. Send them an email, tag them below, all that good stuff. Or if you are part of a music group that you feel would benefit from this, go ahead and share this video there with them. All right. Thank you, Craig. All right. Number 4. Okay, so with number 4, we're going to get grooving with collaborative projects. And just the other day, actually today and yesterday, I was sent reminders in my Facebook memories, which I'm going to try to share to my profile later today, about one of the opportunities that came up in my studio where I paired up 2 seniors, Sophia and Olivia. Wait, no, Sophia and Julia. What am I thinking? Sophia and Julia were teamed up together, and they did a senior piano recital, just the 2 of them. It was a super amazing event. So, when it comes to creating collaborative projects, they can be big things like pairing up people, putting together groups of your seniors if they're graduating and having them do a senior recital, and they actually have to plan it. I had them plan the entire thing. They had to plan. The only thing that I helped them with was creating the invitations. They had to find a venue. They had to plan the food. They got to plan the list of things that were going to happen that day, and they had to invite everyone. It was amazing. So if we can create these collaborative opportunities, it's going to improve musical skills, right? It's also going to help them develop teamwork, communication, social connections within your studio. So, it can be things like ensembles, duets, group compositions, things like that. There's so many opportunities here. Oh my goodness. Hey, Cassandra, you did the research. Thank you. Oh, postcards are 48 cents. This world that we live in is mad. All right. Thank you, Cassandra. All of these opportunities in order to make music together. So collaborative projects can be something that you assign people. It can be something that you open up to people. We used to do a lot of collaborative work inside of the summer camps and workshops that I ran every year. If anyone would like to learn about those, I have a 5-part blog series all about planning summer workshops. It's over on sarasmusicstudio.com. That's the old website, right? So, you can check that out. And, it's just really fun to do that kind of stuff. If you look at our old YouTube channel, we had collaborative opportunities where students got together and they created films. And they wrote the script, they filmed it, I did the editing for them, and they wrote the music to go out. They wrote the score. There's so many different things that we can do. Super fun. All right, let's get to the final point here because I'm kind of rambling today. Sorry. I'm excited to see you guys. We haven't had power for 4 days. This is the first day back with power. I haven't been at my computer for a really long time. All right, finally, launch a virtual Hangout spot. So for those of you who have, either a virtual studio or an in-person studio, this could be something that is valuable to you. So one of the things that you could consider, right, would be to set up some type of a virtual space, maybe a private Facebook group, some type of an online forum where students can interact, share their experiences, and support one another. I do want to mention that, I don't think that Facebook groups are for everyone. You'll notice that I actually, unlike a lot of businesses out there, I don't have a free Facebook group for Savvy Music Studio because it does take quite a bit of time to to moderate a group, to encourage a group to participate. So only do that if it's with paying customers. Okay. This is going to help them keep lines of communication open. It's going to allow them to feel connected and engaged with their fellow musicians, even when they are learning from a distance. And Facebook groups that's not the only thing out there. There are so many other opportunities for you to create that virtual Hangout space. So things like if you're looking for a paid service, I really like Circle. I think it's SO. I might be. Circle.io is awesome. That's a really cool paid service. There are also many other free services out there that do have some type of a community forum that you could integrate with whatever you're using in your studio. So do your research and think about do I want to invest in this? Is this something that needs to be free for right now? And then also think about how I'm going to educate my students to use that space. Right? Because it can be all exciting to put together some type of a free group. I should not say free. It is paid because they're paying you, to put together some type of a forum. But I don't know about you guys. It was really, really popular for a while. Lots of coaches and bloggers were saying that you should have a Facebook group for your studio where parents can ask questions, students can get together. Those don't work very well because of the way that the algorithm works. So unless you're really educating people to check in on that group, turn on notifications, that type of stuff, and you are in there creating content, don't think that that's going to be a one and done kind of thing. So yes. Okay. See, right. Started and abandoned so many Facebook groups. You get it. Okay. Great. So we're going to do a rapid recap in just a second here. But before we do that, we're going to take a look at the comments. If anyone has any questions, or if you want to share some of your takeaways, now is the time. What did you find valuable today? I see that Cassandra put down one. She says, I have 2 juniors, 1 singer, and 1 pianist. They can do duets and solos next year. I'll run it by them. I love that idea. Okay, that's super fun. Great. Okay, let's see if there were any other questions. Okay, I think that's our one takeaway for right now. So share your takeaways down below. Thank you for the waves, and Mariah, thank you for the heart over on Instagram. All right, let's get to it. We are going to do our rapid recap. So give me a moment while I compose myself. All right, so if you tuned in late, and you're just getting here now and you might have missed the first couple of things here, I want to remind you can drop the word community down below. And if you are on Facebook or Instagram, the Savvy Sara bot will reach out to you and send you the show notes from today so you don't have to hold it all in your brain. She will also send you an invitation to join our email list. We have, we send out text messages that can remind you about our videos. It'll send you right to the video. And if you are watching on YouTube, look in the pinned post there. You can see that there is a link where you can get a hold of that. All right. All of that aside, let's do our rapid recap. Okay, here we go. If you want to create a tight-knit community in your studio, it is time to think beyond recitals. So here are 5 creative ways that you can increase community in your studio so that you have students who are happy and engaged with one another. And when we have happy and engaged students, we have better student retention and better word of mouth referrals. So here's our 5 things. Number 1, throw an awesome non-recital event. So you could host in-person workshops, social gatherings, have movie night, where students can get together, where they can socialize a little bit, get to know one another, and then maybe they can also show off some musical skills or learn some really cool stuff about the music. The idea is to keep the good vibes rolling, and you can do this with online group classes if you have an online studio, right? Even when they're miles apart, they can get together and have a little socialization. Number 2, start a Rockin' Buddy studio system so you can match up students who might have similar levels, similar things that they enjoy playing or singing, and have them get together, collaborate, jam, and cheer each other on, because who doesn't love like a little musical teamwork? That can be a really fun system. Number 3, create a rad community wall. So you can find a space in your studio and deck it out. Make it a place where you can celebrate student wins, where you can display artwork, where you can share the latest news, and really invite everyone to join in and show off their awesomeness there. Doesn't always have to be music related. It can be stuff that they did at school, stuff they did in Girl Scouts, etc. Number 4, get everyone grooving with collaborative projects. This is one of my favorite things to do. So, set the stage for having ensembles, duets, group compositions. Give people the opportunity to shine together while building teamwork and lasting friendships. Number 5, launch a virtual Hangout spot. So this can be useful if you are in an online studio. It can also be great if you have an in-person studio, and especially if you teach adults. Have some type of a forum where they can interact, where they can chat, share their experiences, support one another, and keep everyone connected no matter where they are. All right, everyone, thank you so much for today. If those 5 things resonated with you, if you drop the word community down below, the Savvy Sara bot will reach out to you with information about those things and an opportunity to get more savvy goodness here at Savvy Music Studio. I'm going to wrap it up. My name is Sara Campbell. I'm a business strategist, marketing, and mindset coach for music studio owners. And you can catch me here every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, where we will talk about all those things. So until next week, stay savvy and stay you, because you are an amazing teacher and there's no one in the world that's quite like you. And I think that you are pretty dang awesome. Thanks for being here, everyone. We will see you next time.